win condition coming out from TNC. So it's going to be dependent on how they play it out.
Let's see. We're going to have a look on how this draft will go. And this is the match of the first time BLACKLIST International is meeting TNC. We're going to have a last look on the lineups right now on our screens. And it's confirmed. We're going to see a Mathilda Renegade, which from being the hitman to flyman, or so-called pilot, going to be now using the Matilda. So it's game number 1 for BLACKLIST International and TNC. Let's see how they rise to the challenge now with a newly recoded horse.
I just hope that TNC isn't going to be over-reliant on Innocent again, just like they were before. But with the lineup they have, it feels like they don't really have a choice, don't they?
Yeah.
They have to kind of just wait out Innocent and make sure Goyo and Benfings can get some work done, maybe get some kills on the side, which Renegade could be in trouble with.
She was just going in too deep for vision, but decoding the Phoenix right now in our trivia. Back in MPL Season 8, Black and TNC have met 17 times, and Black has won 14, while TNC was far less than that. There's a lot of throwbacks back in Season 8, Rockhart.
Yeah, let's see if they can change this. And don't forget, TNC, they didn't really change their lineup that much as well, right? I mean, they did swap some stuff around, but basically the same lineup, and I love that they're sticking with it. It seems like TNC can actually, get some points back here for their team.
Yeah, anything that's spots right for the emblem. With a lot of agilities in the emblem.
Of course, this is probably one of the most important emblems to have in the meta game right now. You're gonna be exploring the map easily, and Sensui gets his level 4 so easily.
Oh, Renegade! Oh,
man, that's first blood, and that's exactly what I want to see TNC do. That's part 1, though. Again, part 2 is still going to come in later on. But that's a perfect start for a hero that really does need a lot of that early game money.
Yeah, you need TNC to kind of have a better early game result.
Oh, flicker in, Benfings.
Okay.
That was actually very, very aggressive. Easy dodge with the guiding wind there. You didn't expect that, did you, Wolf?
No, I didn't. Because there was no kill potential at all.
All right.
But
More
Edward,
kill potential on the top side, though, as there is a counterplay with Goyo. They get their second kill of the game.
Yeah.
Talking about earlier, so this might be the great start for TNC, jumping up their own composition. So Renegade was going in too deep for vision, and Ben thinks it has to is having a good control over Sensui and Renegade. With this, TNC would have a great way to even finish the first hurdle of this, or the first objective of this game.
Good understanding coming out from TNC. They are just grouping up. It's always a gag potential. At the first 5 minutes of the game, expect Innocent to be alone, and the rest of TNC to group up. That's their win condition. And this brings me back to why the BLACKLIST International went in for the gourd instead. Well, it does win still, going up against the Valentina. Well, you can see that there is some problems that BLACKLIST International will have to face. And that problem actually is just having too many heroes to protect.
Oh, that is true. Renegade is going to have his work cut out here, as you can see on the your screens right now. Basically forced to tank all the damage so we can make it out live. Now right here, you see TNC, they're very aggressive. They want to go straight up, face off against BLACKLIST with the lineup they have, because, again, they have so much crowd control in the early game as well.
Yeah, this is the essence of having a Mathilda. No matter how near or far, with just the guiding
Wherever
wind,
you
aids
are.
you so much. Even a flying panda could happen. But with the use of the Mystic Gush right away, Haji's utilizing more of the ultimates to spot down members of TNC. In the aggression, he just pushing down bottom and him.
Yeah, TNC, they have all the info they need to make this work for them. No ultimates means that BLACKLIST is actually vulnerable right now. But no, TNC, they decide to back off.
Can we just say that maybe Akai is not a Sensui hero? It kind of feels like he's less aggressive. Well, he needs to.
It feels different.
It feels different, right? Like if you imagine if you played something like a Martis or different hero, right? You know that he will be aggressive. You can even give him like a typically when he plays the utility jungler, he's very aggressive.
Well, speaking of aggressive, just Goyo doing all the work to push down BLACKLIST International while Innocent has taken down a turret down bottom, slowly getting a start from that early game rotation on the lead as well with 2.4K.
But again, this is TNC's strength. What BLACKLIST needs to do is to weather the storm. Right now what they're doing is farming on 2 lanes, and they're not giving OHEB like a double lane setup. So this will not be the fastest Claude ever.
Yep.
Whereas for TNC, because Innocent is a recipient of some of the plate turret, outer turret and shields, and he was able to push down bottom, he gets some of the gold for extra from the neutral objectives. He's going to be much faster.
Yeah. And maybe that's the plan for Blacklist, right?
Yeah.
They just they know they're not going to win in the early, especially with the first blood they gave. So they said, you know what, let's just not force our way. Let's just try to buy some time, try to just defend our towers the best we can, and then maybe fight them in the late game where we know TNC is vulnerable, or at least that's what they're thinking.
That's right.
Okay, buying more time. Blacklist International with their own composition, looking for a way to just cross this challenge. Well, with Sensui here just looking for a way to get his scrums back in the game. So if you're hungry for those objectives, one thing TNC's capitalizing on is the control in the river.
Yeah.
And it's hard for even Black to even cross. Just look at this. Look at the control. Initiation from top lane though. Stunned Edward.
They go for it. Ben Things, you're going way too far. He was actually way too deep. I completely knew that was going to happen. But it's amazing that, TNC, they're posting up Ben Things so deep, knowing that they can't really respond. What was that?
Well, some of the overconfidence coming out from Ben Things for sure. Because you get tempted so easily, man. It's some heroes counter one hero. Like, for example, Claude versus the Minotaur. It's just tempting to go deep.
It really is.
Looks like
right now,
Renegade
it's Renegade
flying
who's going
in.
deep, but he's going to pin down. Goya, though, again, there's this interesting call from TNC where it feels like they have the advantage, but they don't want to push it.
What I wanted to say about the Minotaur versus the Claude is that it's not just a counter. Minotaur just doesn't only just counter the Claude, but also kind of gets stronger when there's a Claude present, just because of the rage that you accumulate because of the
that's true.
normal attacks the Blazing do it, and you go Blade Armor, you're going to be A-okay.
Just imagine that. You have the passive of the Minotaur. This is just TNC freely rotating around Blacklist International's camp. And onto the second turtle. Kinko has more vision. And even frontline from Hessel, look at that.
Wow.
The pokes though, but Edward mostly doing the job right up front. But seeing potential, look at that.
Oh, that's a big ultimate already being used up. It's the gush. Oh, it hurts like a tank. But right now with TNC, with the gold lead they have, they seem to be just sustaining very, very well.
Hesu.
Although will there be round two?
Sensui.
Looks like there is. Jesu's going to go down. There goes the Beyblade battle. And in the end, it's going to be one kill. But, man, it's slowly but surely here for Blacklist.
The Beyblade battle. Well, the thing with heavy spin, when you copy it as Valentina, you're happier because you have 2 dashes.
Yeah.
Think about it. Heavy, if you see you have a long range dash after your ultimate, but if you are utilizing the Valentina, it's easier actually to land a heavy spin. And it's easier to pin down people because you can kind of correct your angle with 2 dashes.
That's true, yeah.
Just imagine the advantage that Goyo has in his own toolkit. He can just use it all over and over again.
Yep.
And there's no turrets left or turrets yet being destructed by TNC onto Blacklist International, but especially on the mid. This is the control that they're trying to give for Sensui as well. One thing that was struggling from minute 1 to 5 was how will Sensui get more of the objectives to his own hands, because this is the problem with the lineup of TNC. Although Ben Things has a different way to give vision, this is just completely pressure for Blacklist International to even group up.
Well, the only good thing about Blacklist is that OHEB has not died yet. He's 5.3k, so he's okay right now. That's what the Demon Hunter Sword needs way more. The only disadvantage that I see from here for Blacklist International is Haji also needs the farm. So there are actually 2 farm-dependent heroes on the side of Blacklist International, and they share resources. Fortunately, this is Haji, and we know that he can convert. But when it comes to farm, comparing OHEBs to Innocent's gold, Innocent is 1,000 gold ahead right now.
Yeah, he has all the items he needs right now. He locked in Berserker Fury like a while ago in Husk Claws. So now you're just going to have to just go straight up on the penetration, and your arrows are going to hit.
Yeah, you have lifesteal, you have crit and crit damage as well. So it's just basically just time for Blacklist International to make this, again, the composition work. So this is a problem. Now, how do they have a chance to penetrate this kind of beeline that TNC has been doing, and they haven't got any objective yet?
Well, it's Edward. Look at Edward right now in Sensui. They're waiting for an opportunity to make their play. But of course, that's not going to be given to TNC very, very easily, though. Maybe waiting some more time here for Innocent to get that orange buff. And this, here we go, the Filipino special right here. The Lord
BLD.
Dance galore.
Yeah, it just keeps on happening, and this is the struggle of TNC throughout their matches from week 1 to 3. So this is a problem if they could actually address on how to even maintain control. But so
Look at
far,
this.
they're holding it slowly, and they're just being sure on the next steps, because Renege at any point, he could use the guiding wind and also that ultimate right onto Innocent. So this is a dangerous path that they can actually make. And then, mind you, this is just the first Lord!
It is, and everyone is getting ready to go in. It looks like the target is Innocent Sensui here. Oh, there goes the jungler of Blacklist. And what's going to be next? That's going to be a Lord given over to TNC.
Wow. Talk about that. That is front to back coming out from TNC. And what you always do is invite people into your bubble. So what they did was to stretch the Lord long enough that Blacklist International will make a mistake. And the mistake was Sensui getting in front of the members of TNC. And with the lockdown that we saw, it was more than enough for them to pin down Sensui and take him out because he was alone. The guiding wind wasn't there to save him. And Renegade really needs to kind of protect his teammates even more. Maybe even lock down and make sure that Sensui is safe.
Okay. Speaking of being safe, and Sensui, just by looking at the item being shown out on our screens, the only thing that either Renegade can do is that, yes, he has the initiation, but the problem of that part when you commit to that decision is there's so much deflect, and there's so much armor right now being built. Ben thinks, I saw he has the dominance eyes as well, so it's a lot of ways to even hold those magic bursts, even coming in from Haji. So either one of them could go down once somebody initiates a fight, but with this kind of situation being placed in Black's International stable, is you also need to answer with armors coming in from 2 players. But for most of the time that they keep on answering those kinds of team fights, it slows down the progress in getting to that situation that they can actually fight back.
Yeah. I'm looking at the bottom lane where this is the critical mass for TNC. Mid-game, this is where you saw in the index, right? This is their strength. They are very strong right now.
This is exactly what we're talking about, though. That part 1 is already complete for TNC. Normally very, very strong in the early game, almost against any team. And now, like Wolf said, just close it.
Yeah.
Just close the game.
Close the game.
That's all you need to do right now.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of closing the game, that's one thing also that we've been looking for the progress of TNC, because how do you hold this? And you're up against Blacklist International.
Yeah.
If they saw an opportunity to turn things around, especially with those small windows of mistakes that TNC could make, despite the lead of 5.5k, they actually could make it happen. But that counts if they have the right initiation for NJ and also for Edward. We've seen Edward do a lot of good things with this Arlet, and with the items seen on our screens, could this progress make a difference, especially in mid-game, Wolf?
Massive difference, because the what really separates Innocent now from the Claude, from Oheb, is a complete item, and that is actually Wind of Nature, which is so important at this state of the game. Lord will be spawning in 22 seconds, and TNC, we mentioned that they are very strong, like composition-wise, in this stage of the game. The fact that Innocent has the Wind of Nature, where Oheb doesn't, that is going to be a big problem for them.
And we know Innocent loves that Wind of Nature, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, right now, Renegade! He's getting pinned down. That's a lot of people, but of course,
Look at the distance.
Of course.
Look how long we can actually escape a possible
Ridiculous.
takedown.
I miss Matilda. That's all I can say.
We could use it back again in our RGs, bro.
Yeah.
It's just so good to see how the Matilda is so effective, but in this kinds of team fights, TNC is doing a lot of great starts for these Lord dances.
No circling eagle yet, so that means Blacklist can't really engage. It comes up right now. But will they be ready? Again, they have some waves to clear here on mid and top, or bottom rather. But it looks like the zone is just so good here
Final slash.
for TNC. That's a big ticket ultimate being used already. I don't know if they can make this though. Oh, look
Flicker.
at that. That's a flicker penalty zone here by Hesu. Will Blacklist capitalize? It looks like they will. They find Hesu. Sensui to be forcing the flicker off of Innocent, and there it goes. It's mayhem, everybody! And who's going to be on top? It looks like Blacklist, who seem to be very, very much ready still to fight back. And with everything that happened, I think Edward already has the
You're
skill
right.
again.
Yep, he has the ultimate up now.
Oh man, this could be big for Blacklist. They get this.
Okay, with that window, with that mistake that they burn out a resource out of Hesu, he did the flicker, he did the penalty zone, and look how Blacklist responded right away. They lost the ultimate of Edward, but this is how they do things. They are answering damage by OHEBs now. We saw the build-up, but can it be an answer? Because TNC, they have good ways to sustain, yes, but if they will commit those kinds of small windows, that's where Blacklist International strikes right away.
Yeah, if you're talking about windows, they have a window right now where Hesu does not have.
another miss.
Oh, another
Oh,
miss
no.
for Edward. What the heck? There it is. Everyone from TNC knows what's up. And Tensui goes for the steal. No way. No way.
A classic.
What a,
Oh my goodness.
what a Chad.
Class S beast. That's Sensui.
That's Tensui.
And
That's
when
how you
everything
steal.
everything seems dire for Blacklist International, all he needed to do, pop the heavy spin, be patient, get the retribution, and get your consolation prize, TNC.
Consolation prize.
Mind you,
That's actually right.
to commit those kinds of plays, we see this wonders in Sensui. It takes a lot of precision as well as, again, precise landing on those takes, especially on the Lord. And
Yeah.
commending Sensui on how he actually made that work, but a lot of resources slowly being taken by Blacklist International. Slowly, they want to keep stealing camps here.
That's true. Tensui not super afraid here with the sustain that you get from the Matilda. You saw the healing that comes out as well because of the favor. Right here is, of course, the moment that maybe OHEB can kind of flex his damage a little bit, but not quite there yet.
Oh, speaking of being there, slowly Haji building up a lot of a major pickup item. A
Bentix!
knockoff bell
The
from
flicker
Bentix.
in. Oh my goodness, and the follow-up from Sensui. Sorry, Hesu rather.
Oh, Haji!
Oh, Haji though. Haji was the big difference maker there. Unbelievable response here from Blacklist while all of that's happening
no.
as well. The Lord going straight for the base. TNC's panicking.
Oh
My goodness!
They got
there it
OHEB.
is. They got OHEB. That forces him to back off. BMI was there to secure him. But man, oh man, TNC's heart rate jumped from 100 to 180 there for sure.
Oh no.
Haji with
in
the
shambles.
flicker, and just to, as you know it, the gold lead of TNC just dropped to 400, and the
Boom.
Lord was marching no more defense onto the mid lane. Blacklist and all the Yangs are present to take down more of TNC's base defenses.
There it is. Feels like they are. They're gonna have to be very, very apprehensive. Everything they worked for the past 16 minutes, 17 minutes down the drain now.
Exactly. And right now, OHEB is leading over Innocent.
With one.
One clash was
Oh my
all it
God.
take. Was all it took.
What a swing.
What a swing indeed. And look at this, Sensui stats 0 and 1. OHEB 0 and 0. You're gonna see it once again.
Let's take a quick look at what happened there.
I mean, it looks so bad for Blacklist, right?
Yep. Heavy spin is available, and there it is.
stolen. Sensui thinks.
Oh, and there's the fight after that one where it was obvious that Blacklist should have lost, but Haji with the flicker forward on the miss, the gush as
Yep.
well.
He was able to pin, to skewer two people with his ultimate, with the gush. Able to land whoever was in front of him and who was behind. So that was a big of a bonus for Blacklist.
This is just a question now of TNC. This is the thing that we're trying to put on the table. How do you close the game and you're up against Blacklist International? Those kinds of mistakes should not happen, but in terms of miscalculation, it's just completely Blacklist doing all the work. And
Yeah.
how they managed to use a resource out of
Look at
TNC,
this.
it's doing wonders for. Look at that! Oh,
Edward,
final slash!
He was waiting for the perfect final slash, and I think he found it by catching off Ben Things. Now, there's no solid front line for TNC except for Hesu, who does not really have a way to engage. He's low on health. He can't go in, but he goes
King Kong
for
waiting
it
for his
anyway.
time.
Waiting on the wings. That's
OHEB.
King Kong, but he misses on the mark. OHEB basically finished off the HP bars of the remaining TNC members. And that might be all she wrote.
A late game for Blacklist just kicked in.
Oh!
Innocent.
Oh, no.
Edward,
You're in
my
trouble.
goodness.
Ah! Beautiful!
And there goes TNC, a 5-man wipeout. Recalls on the base, minions pushing in, and this just might be it for game number 1. their chance of turning things around, and they clutch back. Blacklist International. And this winning moment is brought to you by our official sponsor, FWD Life Insurance. And that is a late game insurance by the horse.
100%, 100%. Man, oh man, if there was any doubt